Hello everybody, welcome back to the beautifully sunny Commonwealth, which is in Fallout 4. And got a new build today. I've been looking for a location for a bank. Now, why specifically a bank? I don't know. But this bank is going to have a little bit of a secret. Because it's going to be basically a front for an institute research center slash safe house or something like that. So I've been looking for quite some time for a space to put it. I didn't want to remove buildings that were already there, so I've kind of happened upon this area here, which is, I guess, still part of the town. Let me just turn on the HUD again, and let's just see where we are at. So we're kind of on the outskirts of the, I guess it's the main Boston city area. And so we're just getting into the weeds over here, but we do have this kind of clear lot, and it is kind of framed up with these retaining walls. So I figured this is probably a great spot to put our bank. It's probably not going to be a super fancy bank, just one that kind of fits in with the aesthetic of the surrounding buildings. Now, I do see straight away we're probably going to have issues with the grass because we do have kind of a slight hill. So I'll probably need to raise up the foundation so that we don't have grass coming through the floor. And we are quite close to this rail line because I want to make the building look like it was sort of there pre-war. So yeah, we just can't build too close to this thing. Otherwise, it's not going to be as realistic. Well, I've got plenty to do, so I better get into it. And just like that, we do have our foundation, and as you can see on this side, we did have to raise it up quite high, because if you go level, you can see there the grass just sort of starts to peek through, especially there, the floor. So I'll have to figure out what I'm going to do there. I don't want to raise it up anymore. I might just sort of cover it with some boxes or something. But you can see that we have some stairs now, so that's basically going to be our entrance. I'll need to figure out some way to integrate it with the rest of the infrastructure here. I'm thinking continue that sidewalk around here and then try and get a little bit of a car park or something. I'm just looking at this car and it kind of might fit, you know, like a couple of them in a row in front of the building there. And as far as the train tracks go, oh, we're a bit jittery. Yeah, we're pretty close. I'm pretty sure it will clear any sort of trains, the actual train carriages going past. But yeah, we are getting pretty close. But yeah, so far so good. We'll continue on. And another quick update here. So I've been just continuing on, just off screen, just figuring out what I'm going to do here. I did say I was going to put a car park here. I'm still not completely sold. I thought maybe a little kind of gardeny thing, but I might revert it back to a car park, because otherwise we don't really have any other spaces apart from across the road to do a car park, and I'm not completely sold on that idea. But you can see we've got the kind of the front facade. Is that the right terminology? Now, as for the style, I'm not completely sold on the whole idea. I think just having the flat wall is a little bit too boring. I'll probably just spice it up a little bit. Just not too sure how at this stage, but if you come up the stairs here, we've got a nice double door, and if you can see on the ground here, we've got the kind of the floor laid out. Oh, what's going on over there? We just had a Minutemen convoy, I guess, destroy some bugs. But as I was saying, we have the kind of the floor laid out now. The whole idea of this whole thing is we have a fake bank, and then basically behind the front part of the bank is a secret institute base. And I've kind of laid out the floor to kind of indicate where exactly the bank stops and the institute begins. And not including these four, I should say, floor panels here. So basically, I'm standing right in the corner of where the bank will end, and you can see here as well where the wall ends. So this section here is going to be bank, and then the rest of this part here and the second story is going to be institute. and I'm not going to keep these walls. I think I'm going to find the kind of the dilapidated ones, because I don't want it to look new, basically, because the outside kind of looks crummy, but then the inside is like freshly painted, which I don't want to have, because I want people to come through the doors and be like, oh, okay, it's just a random bank, and then leave, and then not realize that there's a secret base behind some door or something. But anyway, I'm going to continue on. And just like that, we have some more updates, and our bank portion of the building is starting to come together. You can see that I've sort of moved away from having just that plain flat wall, and I've gone for a little bit something with a little bit more style. We have these kind of bay windows that stick out a little bit, and then also these kind of wooden framed ones, but I think it's kind of selling that look that it is kind of a more serious kind of bank, to fit in with this kind of outskirts of the city look. Probably a little bit too fancy for a just a country bank, but there you go. And if we come inside, we have, I'm not a bank professional, so yeah, just take this with a grain of salt, but these are basically like the waiting areas, and you go through and talk to the person behind the screen. I don't know how they pass the money around, you know, it's just, we're going to pretend that there's like hidden drawers or something in there, but yeah, anyway, that's what I'm going with. I couldn't find anything that kind of looked banky, so I kind of just went with this stuff here. And we have some waiting chairs for people who are going to talk to our mortgage manager here. This office obviously has not been fitted out yet. I just plonked a whole bunch of different props in there to be worked out later on. And on the side it's the same, we just have like an administrator's office or something. And you can see here we have a security door. Don't worry, I'm gonna sort this out later. And we just have some sort of bits and bobs, storage room here, and then just behind the kind of teller section here, just some desks and miscellaneous belongings. And this is kind of the room where it doesn't look like there's much in here, but we have this what do you call it, chest of drawers or bookcase, whatever you want to call it. And you know, obviously we do have access to our institute area through this door, which is yet to be built, but you can see that's how it's going to be integrated. So I want to sort of have it so this room has kind of got props and things in it, and it's not obvious that you know, where you get to the next section. So I think this bookcase works quite well in that regard. So now that I've kind of not quite finished off the bank area, but you get the idea. This is kind of the bank section, and as I said before, I will do away with those walls there, but I think I might use a wallpaper instead, and then I'll do the inner walls will be fully institute walls, so you won't see any of the green stuff or anything like that. But you can see the area that we get to play with for the institute part. So just think of this kind of U shape as being a 2-story section, and then yeah, just fill it full of institute goodies. And in terms of the exterior, yeah, basically it's going to have the brick building look, but I'm not sure if I'm going to have fake windows or if I'm just going to leave it as sort of blank walls with greaves and AC units and stuff like that. So we'll have to figure out that, and I'm not even sure I have those assets anyway. But that's basically the idea. So I will continue on with that, and I'll give you an update in a couple of seconds. And we're back. That was quick. So let's have a look through our institute section. And you can see that we have quite nicely integrated those two spaces together. And I've tried to make sure that you can't really see around the door to see if there's anything there. I think that's been pretty successful because this bookcase door doesn't actually snap to this section. So I have to sort of line it up manually, but that's all good. And if you come in here, this is the space we are working with. And yes, we are having issues with the grass coming through, but as I said before, I'm going to just cover it with props and things. And so I've been planning the rooms out. This area is probably going to be a warehouse, storage room / power generator room. I've got lots of grass to cover up, so that's pretty much the reason why. And you might have guessed, at the end here we do have kind of like a jail for nefarious, well, the Institute are kind of nefarious, but people that are misbehaving, they're going to get thrown in here. And we do have a laser door, but it doesn't quite line up because it's for the wrong shape. So I need to figure out what I'm going to do there to make that look good. So let's go up to the second story here, and just a nice big blank slate, plenty of room to work with. Thankfully no grass to deal with. I haven't really decided what I'm going to put in the rooms, but I'm thinking probably the lower area is just going to be kind of service and maybe crew quarters, and then upstairs is going to be kind of experimental stuff, kind of looking at radiation levels of plants and creatures in the Commonwealth, that sort of thing. And I do want to put a teleportation room, so maybe this room here will have a teleportation device so that people can go between the institute, the main institute building, and this place. And let's just see what it looks like from the outside, which is pretty plain Jane, but I should really sort out this office. We'll just have a look anyway. So I've opted to maybe not do windows and just go with sort of a blank brick building, just with grebes and fans and miscellaneous props, and we do have a fire escape as well. Yeah, I think it would be probably a little bit more convincing if we had just some blank windows or something, but it turns out I actually don't have those assets, so I'm just going to go with what I have now. If I find some later on down the line, I'll definitely put them in, but for now we'll just try and fill out the area just to sort of make it look less like a giant brick slab. But yeah, so far I'm kind of liking the style, and I did put a train carriage in just in case, because I was putting this fire escape in and just wondering if it would hit. And we are clear, but if there was an incident and the train was going past, you're probably going to get hit by the train, unfortunately, because you'll climb down here and then in your shock stand back and get hit by this carriage. And yeah, it's pretty plain up here, but we'll see how it lands at the end of the video when the final look is kind of achieved. But so far I'm pretty happy with it, so I'm going to continue on. Well, I have been very busy indeed. I've been trying to spice up the exterior, as I kind of mentioned in the last part of the video. You can hear our power whizzing away because we did do some interior stuff. But I added some cars and some sort of garbage bins and stuff like that. And we did manage to squeeze in a few cars at the front here. We are getting pretty close with this one. I put some bollards up as well. And just try and spice up the exterior a little bit more. Make it look more integrated with the surroundings. Oh, I'm stuck. And I think it looks kind of okay. A little bit random having such a big building kind of on the very outskirts, but that's okay. And I've just added a couple more things over here as well. Hopefully nobody really comes back here, but I think it's okay. I mean, if you look at that building, you know, in the distance there, they don't really have that many details on the outside, but they do have windows. So yeah, as I said, we'll figure that out if it doesn't sell the look. But you can hear something humming away, so let's go in and have a look. I have completed the first story of the Institute area, and I did sort out some stuff in here as well. So we have a semi-organized mortgage broker room, and same here, covering up the grass. And if we come through our security gate, some lighting now. That is quite loud. I think I've turned down the ambient sounds, but yeah, I can definitely hear a lot. So if you come through here, we have kind of a welcome plinth. We have a courser just keeping guard. I would assume that this kind of console here is, if you're coming in through this door, you would kind of log in that you were there. But yeah, So I'll spin around in a second, but this is kind of the first room that had the grass growing through the floor there. And we have transformed it into a quite loud, again, you probably can't hear it through the recording, but it's quite loud, all these things buzzing. And just sort of like ammo weapons and things like that, that kind of, I'm trying to choose ones that don't look like bullets and things. We do have some grass that is visible. If I put something right on top of it, it's going to block the path, and there's lots of grass underneath these things, so I'm kind of stuck with it. So just try and, yeah, put that out of your mind. So I've just populated this area with more stuff, miscellaneous parts and technology, just to try and fill it out and make it look more interesting. And you can see this light coming through, this weird effect. I have started building upstairs, but not quite finished. But let's keep going downstairs and have a look. So we have kind of a very small mess area. The crew area in this building is not that big. So I would assume that if there's a bunch of people here, half of them would leave using the teleporter, and then half would stay. So we've got enough kind of for 4 people. So this is kind of what I've come up with. We have our dispenser here for food, and then just like a coffee machine type thing, and then just a little kind of stall thing that they can sit down and eat. And this section down here is for our crew to stay. So if we open up here, this is just kind of a standard crew quarters. So we have a bed, just some miscellaneous technology, and just a light wall, and just some air purifier or something here. And pretty much the same story here, kind of mirrored. And this last room, it's got 2 beds inside. So the poor souls that have to share this room, very sorry. This guy's just hanging out. And this is our kind of security / jail. So I ended up going with these sliding doors, but then using the laser door on this one here. So we have some Brotherhood of Steel person who was causing trouble. They are now captured, and I don't know what's going to happen to them. And we just did sort of very simple kind of amenities, and there is actually a second kind of bed there as well. And this guy's just this courser is just watching the monitors, making sure everyone's behaving themselves. We will close this door, leave them to it. So that's basically it for the first floor. Let's just close this door. Again, I need to finish up the second story, and then we'll have a look at it. Alrighty, so I have finished the second story. Let's go have a look. So you come up the stairs here, and we just have a little kind of hangout area and some more screens to make sure everyone can see if there's any happenings going on. Let's go to this end of the building. So we have quite a tight hallway here, just trying to maximize the space. We've got our cameras set up. So I reckon this first room is probably an area where they can sort of test toxicity of certain compounds and the dirt and sort of things like that. So these guys are working hard. So that guy over there is actually a static statue. He's just got a clipboard over there. But this is a settler. So I did want some settlers because I wanted some movement, you know, when people are standing around. But I didn't want a whole bunch of them because oftentimes if you load up the game or something, they'll just disappear, especially with these sort of custom settlement buildings. So we're kind of using a mixture of the statues and actual settler NPCs. Alrighty, so that's this room. I will leave them to it. Let's close the door up. This last room here is just a container room. So you can see we have a couple of super mutants in stasis. I kind of like this room because you have the lighting effects, and there's obviously the animation going on, but then you can also hear, you probably can't hear it through the recording, but you can hear the buzzing of the power downstairs. So it has quite a nice ambience. Alrighty, so if we make our way to the other end, we have our Corsair on guard as well. That is also a statue, so he doesn't move. So this room here is kind of like a reprogramming, I don't know, like interrogation maybe? I don't know. We don't want to talk about this room. And this room at the very end here, this is kind of obviously where they're testing soils and the plants here. So again, we have a static statue there, and then a real settler NPC, and I just assigned them to a kind of a guard post. So he will just stand there like that, and the other guy, the guard post, is a kind of a reading animation, and that is the CVC mod, which you can find in the description. And of course, our last room is the teleportation room, which I mentioned in the last part of the video. Sorry, the part before. But yeah, we just have some miscellaneous consoles, and then the go button to turn on our teleporter. And I just added some cryo effects and this one here. But yeah, I'm pretty happy with it. Well, I think that one pretty much wraps this one up. I probably could have finessed the exterior a little bit more. I keep saying this with the windows and stuff, but yeah, I haven't found any that I was happy with. They were kind of like see-through ones, and when you put it up against the brick, you can see the brick behind it, so it didn't really work for me. I kind of just want a blank flat texture so you can't see through it. Anyway, I am rambling on. I hope you enjoyed that one. Please like and subscribe, that's always very helpful. I have a link to my Discord server on the main channel page. You can jump over there and you can share your own Fallout 4 builds, just general chat, and you can even submit ideas that I might turn into videos. So jump over there and share. And on that note, thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.